Hello, I'm Piyush Dave, a fintech professional, and today I'm going to share a algorithm technique based on percentage of volume. I have named this algo as an intelligent volume participation because this is very smart algo. So that's why intelligent volume participation. Now let me explain this first in a mathematical form. Then we will understand why the percentage of volume of algorithm is executed by the big player, and then we are going to see this complete part into the simulation environment. So first part is, suppose you want to execute in a buy side 1 lakh quantity. You want to execute on a buy side 1 lakh quantity, and current market volume is only 1000. That means there is a buyer or a seller of only 1000 quantity. So current market volume is 1000 and you want to buy a 1 lakh quantity. Now, if you do that, if you execute this order, if you are on a buyer side, then the market will move significantly on upside. And suppose if you are on a seller side, then market will move down significantly on a downside. Now, if you execute this trade, it will be noticed by many people. Your buy also can be understood by anyone, or your sell can be understood by anyone. So this kind of trade big player never do. They keep on checking what is the volume of the market. This is called MV, volume of the market. And if the volume of the market is very low, they execute the order with POV. POV is percentage of volume. So they will only execute 10% of the market volume. Even if they want to trade 1 lakh quantity, they will never trade this 1 lakh quantity in one stretch. They continuously check what is the volume of the market. If the volume of the market is very low, they will never execute this order. They will execute this order with a very small quantity. So nobody could able to notice it. So market will not take a significant move, and they get the advantage of this over a long period. Now let me explain this in how we are going to trade this. So now first part is, first we will check what is the volume of the market, and we are going to choose only 10% of the trade based on the volume of the market. Even if we want to execute a large order, first we will check what is the volume of the market. And if the volume of the market is very large and you are executing small quantity, that is called positive gap. So we are going to trade more, we will increase the quantity. And suppose the volume of the market has low volume and you are executing large number of quantity, we are going to have a negative gap. So negative gap means you are ahead of the market. Don't trade so much quantity, we will slow down. Logic is very simple. We will check continuously what is the percentage of volume which will be executed from 10% of the market volume. If the market volume is 1 lakh, we will take only 10%, that is 10,000 quantity, not more than that. That is only you will trade. So nobody could able to notice that what is happening. Now to make it more logical, we will not take only market volume, we will take cumulative market volume. So now this formula becomes CMV. If the cumulative market volume is continuously increasing, our trade is have a positive gap. And if the current cumulative market volume is continuously decreasing, that means less people are trading into that particular stock, we will have a negative gap. So what we will do in the negative gap, we are going to slow down. We will going to trade less number of quantity. Now let me show you, if the gap is too much lagging, trade with multiply of 1.5. If the gap is less, then trade with multiplier of 0.5 or 0.6, whatever you want, you can take the value. Now, once we get this slice, we are going to trade it that particular quantity based on the exact market participation. Now, once we understand this, let me show you this in an actual execution environment. Suppose you want to trade for 10,000 quantity. We keep the percentage of the volume of the target is only 10%. The catch-up multiplier we have taken as 1.5 and the slowdown multiplier is 0.6. You can take 0.6, 0.5, anything, but it has to be less than 1.5. So first part is, suppose the current market volume is 1000. So 1000 plus we have no value previously. So 1000 is, we copy just here. 10% of it is 100 quantity. So we are going to have the execution start. So we have 0 over here. So we are going to trade. We have gap of 100 and the multiplier is 1.5. So we are going to trade 150 quantity at the initial of the. Now suppose market volume increase by 1500. So cumulative is addition of this two, 10% of this. Already we have executed 150 quantity. So this is a subtraction, is 100 quantity remain. Then we have a multiplier 1.5. Now almost 150 quantity is traded. So we have 300 quantity. 150 over here, 300 over here. Now the current market volume is 800. Cumulative is addition of these three. Then 10% of it, we have already traded 300 quantity. So this is the gap between these two, and 30 is a value. So now we are going to trade 30 into 1.5, only 45 quantity. You can see 150 we have traded over here, 150 we have traded over here, but we have traded only 45 quantity over here because the volume is decreasing. Let me clean this screen so it will be visibly clear to you. Here you can see here the volume is decreasing, so that's why the number of quantity is also decreasing. Now suddenly the volume increase, you can see. So now the cumulative volume or addition of this is this value, 10% of this. We have already executed 345 quantity which we have taken over here. Subtraction of 420 minus 345 is 75. Then 1.5 is a multiplier, that's 113 quantity. 113 quantity plus this is 458 quantity. Now you can see the volume is again decrease. If the volume decreases, you can see the quantity which we are going to trade also decreases. Logic is very simple. If the volume decreases, decrease the quantity of the trade so that your execution will be never noticed by anyone. We are keep on doing this here. Now you can see the interesting part here. The volume increased sharply. So we also increase. See, we were trading only two quantity. Here we increase to 59. Here we increase to 195. Again the volume decreases. From 195 quantity of the trade, we just come to 22 quantity. Again volume increases, number of quantity increases. Now here if you see, only out of 1000 10,000 quantity, only some quantities are remain. So that's why we have executed multiplier of 0.6, because we are ahead of the market, that's why. And we traded that complete quantity. Execution ends. So logic is, we just keep on checking. Now this will go on until you reach to your quantity. Continuous basis it is going to execute, and we are going continuously checking the market participation. If the market participation is decreasing, we are going to trade less number of quantities. So this will not increase or decrease the price of the market in a noticeable manner. Let me explain this. Let me explain this one more time. Let me clear all this window, open this again, so it will be visibly clear to you. We are going to execute the algo called as a percentage of volume, and we are going to work very smart way with this algo. We will check continuously what is a cumulative market volume. This is cumulative market volume, that is addition of the previous value and the next value is cumulative market volume. We are going to find 10% of it. Suppose whatever quantity we executed last cycle, we are going to copy here. So the gap is 100. We copy the gap over here. Again, we will multiply this gap with multiplier, a fixed multiplier. We get the quantity of the trade. This will be again copy over here. We see the market volume is decreased. So the cumulative market volume over here, we copy it. Then the 10%. Then again, we have already executed 300 quantities. So 330 is only remain. 330, only 30 multiplied by 1.5. So we are going to execute only 45 quantity. If the volume is increased, you can see here, we are going to increase the number of trading size. You can see here, volume is significantly increased from 59 quantity to we come to 95 quantity. And if the volume is decreased, you can see here, we are going to come from 95 quantity to 22 quantity. So, logic of POV is check cumulative market volume. Cumulative market volume is down. Trade with less number of quantity. Cumulative market prices volume is up. Trade with more number of quantity. So nobody can notice that you are taking a position into that particular stock. This has been used by many fund houses and it is the best technique to understand how the big player works. So let me show you this execution in actual simulation environment. So now this is my exchange which keep on trading the value with price in the market. So let me close this. Let me adjust this window. So the price and the volume is available. Total volume. You can see at 998 there's a total volume of 1220. Now whatever I explained that I'm going to actually simulate into this algo. So whatever I explained that I have coded over here, I'm going to execute 10,000 quantity and only 10% is a buy. The multiplier I've kept 1.6, the 0.6. The base volume is I've kept as 1000. Okay. So now let's execute this. Okay. So let me adjust both the window. We can increase or decrease the delay as per our requirement. Now here we have the first window you can check out. We are going to compare this now. Okay. First is we have whatever quantity. Okay, this quantity. Okay, let me increase some more delay. So it will be visibly okay with you. Let me increase some delay so that it look visibly okay. So we can have the interval of 1 point or 2 seconds. That would be the better idea. Okay. So we have intentionally increased the delay so that it will be visibly okay for us. We can actually see what is happening in the market. If we keep less delay, then it will be very difficult for us to understand what is happening in the market. Okay, now let me adjust the second window. Let's see what is happening here. Okay, we got increase in the volume. You can see here we have significant increase in the volume. So the cumulative gap. See the trade here we have traded less quantity because the volume is decreased. If the volume is decreased, see we are executing only one quantity. If the volume decreases, see cumulative volume here also decreases. We are trading with very small quantity. Volume increases, we are trading with high quantity. Volume decreases, we are trading with less quantity. Volume increases, we are trading with high quantity. Volume increases, we are trading with high quantity. Volume decreases, we are trading with less quantity. So logic is very simple. We are just calculating the gap. We want to execute 10,000 quantity and we are executing in a way that it basically catch up with the market. So market, you can check out here what is happening in the market. And if the volume, cumulative volume, you can see the total volume decreases or increases. We can see here volume is decreased. So the number of quantity from 180 to 46. Volume is increased. So from 18 quantity to 160 quantity. Volume is decreased. Volume is decreased. So 103 quantity to 103 quantity to 51 quantity. And this keep on changing. The number of unit keep on changing. It basically depend on the volume. If the volume is high, quantity, see we are getting slow down here over because we are reaching to our execution. We have slow down mode. We have slow down mode. Catch up mode is a fast mode. Slow down mode is when the volume is very low. We have catch up mode. Catch up mode means multiplier is 1.5. Okay, completely executed. Okay, total market volume was this. Required unit was this. Actual unit we calculated. The final participation is only, so we executed this in less of the 10%. Like we thought of going with 10% of the total cumulative volume. So total volume which we have executed over here is, we decided that it should be at 10%, but it is less than 10%. It is less than 10%. So we thought of executing that in 10%, but it is only 9.70%. We sliced the complete trade in 133 quantity. There was a catch up, like we were matching the speed or increasing the speed of the trade 70 times. We have slowed down 5 times. And the execution performance is below the target. What we have decided, we decided only 10% and it is below the, based on the real market volume. See how beautifully it is executed. Let me increase some more delay in the algo. So it will be visibly more good to us. So let me take this to level of 3. And we are going to run this. So now this will be slightly more delay version. So we can actually see the market speed and this. See the cumulative market volume increases. So we increase the quantity also 116 to 140. If the market volume is decreased, we went for 141 quantity to 5 quantity. Now current market is going faster, but we are just executing slightly slower so that we can see what is happening in the market. We just reached to 1500 quantity. We want to reach to 10,000 quantities. We just reached to only 1500 quantities, but we need to reach to almost 10,000 quantity. Again, let me show you this. Quantity volume decreases, quantity automatically decreases. We are in a catch-up mode. Maximum time we are in a catch-up mode. Very less time we slow down because the volume of the market is almost good volume. We are continuously executing in every 3 seconds of the delay. volume, see, significant volume is decrease over here, significant volume is decrease. The quantity you can see 184 to direct 40. Nobody could able to understand that you are executing a buying order of 10,000 quantity. Nobody could able to understand. If you go this way, and this cannot be noticed by anyone in the market. Now, if you have this kind of a smart algorithm, you can take a trade without changing much, without creating much volume in the market. And this will really help us to trade on a long. See here, the volume is increased more. We traded 500 quantity. Volume decreases, we traded only 46 quantity. The algo is working on a best level. So we will wait. We will keep on executing this till we reach to 10,000 quantity. Till we reach to 10,000 quantity. We are continuously checking the cumulative market volume, and we are executing based on that. The calculation which I have shown to you on the tables, that kind of a calculation we are doing. Market volume increases significantly, 74 quantity to directly this. See, this volume is impact the number of quantity. So when you do this kind of a process, it's beautifully executed. If I mix this with TWAP also, then this is going to work very beautifully, more beautifully. Nobody could able to understand. TWAP is time weighted average price. So based on the time, you can slice the quantity. Now here we are not checking the time, we are checking the volume of the market. POV works for many fund houses. If you can able to create an algo which can able to detect the POV, then you can basically take a trade with this big fund houses, and you can create, see, we are slowing down, you can create a good amount of finance from that or profit from that. We are executing almost 9,000 quantity we have reached. The volume is increased. You can see the volume is increased significantly. The quantity we go from 22 to 295. The volume decreased significantly. We go from 295 quantity to only 4 quantity. Volume increase again. We go to 216 quantity. Okay, the algo is completed. We have target it like we should actually reach to 10% of the total volume, and we executed this in 10.01%. That is slightly higher than the actual target, because we actually decrease the speed of execution. 83 slices and average 120 units average we have traded. The catch up is 75 and slowdown is 8, and the execution is slightly above the target because we intentionally decrease the speed of the trade. So POV is a great way to hide the quantities, and it works very beautifully with this kind of a execution. I hope this is clear to you. Thank you very much.